Are you there, John?
I am here, and now for the first time here on the road to 50 million, you have theme music, Kelly.
All right. Road to 50 million theme music. John, thank you for doing that. And I'm sorry if those of you that might be watching saw the 3 or 10 second event that actually accidentally happened about 10 minutes ago. So that was me trying to figure out how to allow John to connect his channels, which I've done for him before, and he gave me good instructions, but I wasn't as good. And so what I did is I accidentally hit the go live button. So that's what that little 10 second oops was. And here we are with the real one. My road to 50 million is a commitment. I have to help 50 million people discover and serve with their gifts. And I invited John because he is the maestro and the most cool person in the world for media or for virtual engagement. I'll shut up. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you, Kellen. Road to 50 million. Kellen has been talking about this over the past, year or two, maybe his lifetime, about his commitment to help 50 million people in his lifetime. For that, Kellen, I got to give you this.
All right. Well, one of the things that inspires me, and I'll be more specific. This road to 50 million is this year. Next year's goals are already set, but they're not revealed. So I'm furiously on a pace. And here's the thing: the world is full of such negativity. There's wars, there's inflation, there's struggle, and everything else. And by seeing inspirational people and people who choose to serve with their gifts, that's the only ammunition or the only tool that we really have to love and to lift and to bless others. So that's what this is about.
That's a great thing, and you're using virtual as one of your many tools to do it. What have you learned, Callan, from live streaming? You're basically live streaming every day, so I've seen you pop up on my feed multiple times. And I heard you were getting some great feedback from some people who saw it. What have you been hearing, and what have you been learning by doing this every day?
So, one, I'm learning absolute bulletproof consistency. So, this particular round, I'm up to about 130 days in a row, 130 something, counting this one. And I plan to finish the year and keep going. And here, so what I've learned is obviously the power of consistency. And Facebook tells you that too. I stream to 7 platforms, and you've got it connected to some more. And here's what I learned. Facebook tells you your engagement is increasing 58 days in a row, 89 days in a row. Keep going. And so it comes on their little gamified thing that helps you keep going. So that's one little tidbit I've learned about consistency. Another thing that I've learned is there is an infinite, like when I first started and thought I'm going to do this for at least a year, I don't want to repeat the titles and topics. So I put Road to 50 million in all of them. But the number of ways that we can encourage and love and focus and help people grow are infinite. And all I have to do is look around at what happened yesterday or even the morning before I do it. And I've got some topic that I can help, that I can talk about, that I either saw or participated in to help people overcome the barriers, get rid of the fear, stop the overwhelm, and just make a little choice to serve with the gifts that they have and what they love to do. So those are two things.
Well, Kellen, that actually leans into, people have been asking, right, how do we make virtual better? Because, Kellen, at least as far as my polls go in the last year, people say that engagement is still the number one problem. And the key for you that I heard in that is that you just look around every day, right? So people who don't know how they have content, one, you just got to look around, because sometimes the content could be like a little thing. Some days it's a big thing. But the key that both of those have in common, it's your authenticity, Kellen. It's yours. The story is true to you. It's what you're seeing inside of the world that you're sharing. And I think that we're missing a level of authenticity here in virtual that people need to have more and more. And so when you share a part of your day, like actually this week, I'm working on an article that I think might be really unpopular, but it's authentic to me. And that says, most people say that they need less technology, right? They're burned out, right? They don't want any more technology. I'm actually on the opposite side saying, I think people are actually hungry for more technology. And here's the caveat: it's just that the attendees don't want to learn anything new, right? So I think there's this part where us as speakers or presenters can really push the envelope of technology because people want that. They want to, if they want to learn, they want to learn in a better way, and they don't want to learn anything new with it. So I have this really cool new advanced program. Actually, that's one of my gifts, Kellen, is that if you chat, I'll probably try and chat here, at least on Facebook. I have a class on April 12th that's free, and it's going to show one of my most technologically advanced programs that I create while still creating engagement, because in the end, I designed it so that customer attendees don't have to learn anything new. If you know how to talk, if you know how to be on camera, which is optional, and if you know how to chat, you can still participate wholly and fully and make a difference in your life. So anyways, going back to that, your authenticity, I think, is really one of your keys to this road to 50 million.
I love that, and it is. And I've learned to even be more and more authentic. Example, in the beginning of this show, there was an explanation. I said some funny stuff about what that 10-second live's doing there, and I'm not going to run around all the platforms and delete it. I don't really care, because here's the thing. Every single person, me and you and everybody, and I've gotten a chance over the last couple of years to get to know you well, and I love you, who you're being and how your spirit is in your heart. I love that. And so here's the thing. Your road to serving with your divine gifts, and I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to me, and I'm talking to whoever else is watching, your road to learning to serve with your gifts and making a living and having fun is going to be littered with little things you might have called failure. It's going to be littered with stuff you try that doesn't work. That's okay. That's part of the game. And so the question isn't, oh, is anybody going to know I failed? Is anybody going to laugh at me? The question is, what can I learn and what fun can I have with this? And I use the fun part because learning is always, oh, you said people have a hard time with the idea they got to learn stuff. So what fun can I have with this? Well, I don't know, but you can. So make it up and go for it. And that's one of the things that I love about you is your engagement and your ability to connect with and make people feel good in your stuff. And I know that's one of your awesome gifts.
Yeah, thank you for that, Kellen. I just recently ran a program. Let's see, who was that for? Oh, Erica Bates, who's a streamer too. She teaches classes on streaming, and she actually said streaming is almost better than Zoom in some ways, because that you can see it in so many more places, right? On the fly. You can be anywhere on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, see a notification, tap a button, be there. As opposed to Zoom, you got to send out invites. People all have to be at the right place and all these other types of things. And we were teaching a class on, it was just basically how to make virtual fun. And so there's all sorts of things that you can do. And we really looked actually at 3 avenues. Chat, right? So chat is an easy one to engage people. By the way, if you're watching this, right, why don't you chat anything we just want to see that you're out here. Simple things like, what did you have for breakfast? If you were on a path to 50 million, where would you go? The second one was audio. So we actually did things like get everybody to unmute at the same time. Like, you're not supposed to do that on Zoom or virtual, but we can sometimes, because sometimes you can feel how big the audience is, and then here on virtual, we did some fun things like, hey, do you remember Jay Giles' band? Remember the song Freeze Frame?
I do.
Okay, so we would do something like this. You turn your camera off, right? And then you grab an object, right? And then make a funny pose, and then turn on your camera and turn it off. And so the whole funny part about this, Kellen, is that you get like 50 people or more doing this. Mm-hmm. And what happens is that your screen is turning on and off at all sorts of different times. And everybody has this different pose. And all I got to tell you is that it's really funny. Actually, here, Kellen, let's do one with you and I. So all we're going to do is both of us turn off our camera, which is going to be funny on the stream. Turn off the stream camera, right?
Okay, so it's off.
Okay, great. So, Kellen, let's see. The topic is inspiration. So whenever you're ready and you want to talk, you would turn on your camera and say something like this, right? I'm inspired by API Heritage Month, with this coming up in 2 months in May, because it celebrates all the great Asian Pacific Islanders, especially this year where they won the Grammy.
Okay, so I'm excited by the fact that it turned spring here in Edmonton a little while ago, and now I'm going to be able to do some videos outside, not in the perma snow. I'm really excited about that.
I'm excited because we're about to unbury my backyard too, and here in spring, clean it up so that we can actually zoom from a hammock.
I'm excited for this album that I'm producing. I just put one up on Spotify called Oasis. It was an EP with 3 songs, and I'm already partly done with the next EP. I am so excited about that because the messages are your coolness, your opportunity, and your divinity.
And so the cool part about this exercise is that it was given to me by Adrian Segar, who wrote a great book about conferences that work. And it's a debrief technique. Even with a large number of people in the audience, all you do is tell everyone turn your cameras off and tell them to turn it on, say something and turn it off. And we've been able to debrief 50 people in 5 minutes or less. And you can see how engaging it is because that person has the stage. They turn the camera on. It's like they have the stage. And also now people know when to talk, right? So you turn your camera off. Now you know the stage is open, and now you can go to the next slide. So anyways, that's a great example, Kellen, of how can you do something different in virtual so that's either fun or unique or more engaging.
So you know what I'm going to do for this whole week? In every one of my road to 50 millions, I'm going to turn my camera on and off a few times just for fun and see what happens and see what I can make out of that. So
You
that's
see, the best one
fabulous.
too is you can do this, right? Which is you can turn your camera off, right? Change your virtual background, come back. Oh my God, now I'm into the infinite space of everything, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I can do that too. So another fabulous idea for excitement and conversion. And I'm not going to change my background right now because I didn't set it up to do that quickly, and I don't want it to take too long. But I know how to set it up to do it quickly, and I will do that. That's fabulous. So I have a question.
Yes.
What is your commitment this year to yourself? Like, what are you trying to create? Because I know a little bit about your heart, and you and I have talked about some things sometimes, and that's the thing that I love about you. So, what are you trying besides having a business, besides making money, which everybody needs to do? What is your heartfelt driver for teaching people to engage more and to run the events like you do and learn all these things that you share?
Well, one is this is great. My good friend Nicole Smith says good morning, right, from Arkansas. And the number two is that the real driver behind all this, Kellen, which I know that you'll appreciate, is just to end suffering. And when I say end suffering, is that many of us have suffered through at least one or more bad virtual meetings. And it's just not necessary, kind of like suffering in life, Kellen, right? Most of the suffering in life, oh, beautiful, is not necessary, right? Sometimes we bring it upon ourselves, right? There's absolutely some suffering that is necessary and intentional, but for the most part, most of us end up creating our own suffering. And so well, that's part of my commitment this year is can I end the suffering for virtual, people who are still on virtual meetings in some degree. And I'm really looking also at people who create virtual conferences. And I'm also really looking at people who create hybrid conferences because quite often too, I don't know if ever felt this way, Callum, but haven't you attended a hybrid and felt like a second class citizen instead of a whole person?
You're at a hybrid unless they do it really well, which I know you do because I've watched you. But unless you do it really well, the hybrids are just onlookers. They're mute onlookers, and that's it. And unless you're really good about the camera or the sound, sometimes you can't hear the sound. The people in the audience, you can't see the right stuff. The cameraman doesn't remember that he's got a virtual audience. There's a whole pile of reasons why you feel like a second, third, fourth class citizen, and you're certainly not participating like the energy in the room.
So yeah, and so two pieces around that is that I'm running a conference in October, which Kellen has spoken at in the past, so he knows what it's like. And this year's theme is around how do you host better virtual or hybrid conferences or virtual, master classes or summits. And the second part, actually, Kellen, I haven't told too many people, but we'll break it here at Kellen's live stream. I'm building a brand new hybrid. It's called Hybrid in a Box, basically. I have a box that I can put in my car, drive somewhere, and in 30 minutes we could be live streaming anywhere.
That's fabulous. I want one. So whatever it is, when you're done, I want one. I
Yeah,
want one.
it's because it's I calculated it takes me 3 to 4 hours to do a correct hybrid, and I think I know after doing it enough times here that if you could just open a box and like put some stuff out, right? All I need is probably power right now. If I could
Hmm.
just get power, then within about 30 minutes, I think I would have everything, and that would include great sound, right? Great lighting, beautiful cameras, and at the end, it ends up feeling like a television or like a television broadcast, even though it's all portable, it's all live, and it does. It's a fraction of the cost because like a TV show costs hundreds of millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars or more, and we can do it for just a couple grand.
Wow, I want to know about your box when you get it built. So speaking of television, I just finished yesterday editing, finishing the final edit of 10 episodes of Creative Save the World, which is going on network TV. It already is, but it's going on in re-edited in linear, regular, over-the-air linear TV
Ooh.
all over the place, and in 196 countries. Reason I'm talking about this is because I'm going to do season two, and the name of the program, is Creative Save the World. And so that's the thing. And then there's episodes of why creatives save the world, about finding your gifts and about getting in a groove and about making it real. And there's all kinds of episodes in the past. We're going to talk some about the creative process that creatives go through or could go through. We'll talk a little bit about Pressfield stuff. And I'm looking for guests. If I had a guest on each of the 10 episodes before, and Creative Save the World, I'm going to start filming season two probably in about 2 weeks to start doing the episodes and stuff like that.
Well,
So
here's the invitation, Kellen. Right, if we could find the right location, you could come fly to Seattle and run it hybrid, where you could speak to both an in-person and a virtual audience. All right, and I'll show you this. Ideally, if this box is in existence by that time, or you could have that, and I think you would probably start to see because I believe Kellen is a person too. You feed off of human energy a little bit, right?
I absolutely do. I love being there. And what I've learned is how to get the energy even over the camera, because so many people feel like they can't make love to the lens, they can't really truly connect. And that's BS. You can
It
learn
is.
to love and connect. Like I feel like you and I have never met physically in person.
No.
And I can tell you right now, the day we do when I come to Seattle, and I'm going to give you some dates in a minute because we're going to go to
Woohoo.
Vancouver Island probably over May long weekend. So if your thing
Yes.
is ready by the end of ish of May, last week or two of May, we can connect and do this. But what I know I'm going to do, the first thing is I'm going to run up and hug you, and it's going to be a sincere and meaningful thing because I love being with and connected to people who are real, who are true, and are people like you. And I mean that with all my heart, and you know it.
I do know that, and that's the best part, Kellen, is that one of the greatest gifts maybe coronavirus gave us is the ability to know that we can still connect as human beings over all this technology. All right, because I think people before said technology makes me feel disconnected, but I think over the last 3 years, right, I think everyone can say that they got more connected to at least one person, right, over technology. Whether or not, and some people, right, it was the lifeline. For some people, that technology saved them because we're humans, we crave connection, and when we couldn't get it in person, right, we had to look for other ways, and I think that's one of the doors that got opened.
I couldn't agree more. And I belong to Lunch Club, which is a fun networking thing. And I met a bunch of people. I've been a couple of years now, and 250 or something people. And first time I've met people anywhere in the world. And in the 45 minutes, I've had some very, very powerful and connecting conversations. Just as an illustration, strangers never met them in the universe, and in 15 minutes, they're telling me deep and important things, and we're having a meaningful conversation.
Outstanding.
Well, this is as long as I meant to go. So my road to 50 million invitation to you, John, and to everybody you know, and everybody that's watching, and everybody that I know, I'm committed this year to help 50 million people to make a choice to discover and to serve with their gifts. And that also includes making business and making value and creating cash. I'm committed to that. And so this is your invitation because you're either doing that already or you're not, or you're doing some part of it. If you'd like help discovering and serving with your gifts and learning how to turn it into cash, I want to talk to you. If you're already doing that and you want to help me reach my 50 million, I want to talk to you. I have a podcast. I have an LA Talk Radio live stream every week. I have this television program I just talked about. All kinds of ways for you to get your message out. John, is there anything else besides your April 12th thing, which I would encourage people to go to? I don't even know what it is, but I know you. So I would encourage people to check out because of how good you are with what you do. Is there anything else you want to share before we're done today?
Yeah, if you want to come to April 12th, or I do one class a month, it's at beatzoomfatigue.eventbrite.com. Again, beatzoomfatigue.eventbrite.com. And I got this last message just for Kellen.
Thank you for attending the performance. And a special thanks to all those who helped with the show.
Thanks, Kellen.
All right, buddy. Thank you. We'll see you.
And you're still running live.